Yor, he's the hunter from the future. Yor, he's the savior of those in need and the protector of the helpless. For the most part. Yor, he's kinda sleazy, but it's fine cause he's like really hot. With his great strength and unyielding will, Yor defeats any enemy in his path. Follow him as he slays dinosaurs, seduces the ladies, and be hot while he is on his quest to solve the mysteries of his past. Yor, it doesn't become a sci-fi until the last 30 minutes of the movie. Intrigued by the Argentinian comic book Yor the Hunter, director and co-writer of the film Antonio Margheriti decided to adapt the comic and bring it to the silver screen. The movie follows the comic pretty closely for the first half or so, but the second half of the movie differs a bit from the source material. Released first in Italy on February 10th, 1983 with a runtime of 98 minutes, and then on August 19th, 1983 in the US with a shortened runtime of 89 minutes. Yor ended up getting nominated for 3 Golden Raspberry Awards in 1983, which were for the Worst New Star, Worst Musical Score, and Worst Original Song. Upon its release, Yor didn't get that much good reception. Critics have said words like, "Even gluttons for dumbness may find it easy to refrain from second helpings. Even worse than you think. Humorously tacky at first, then just plain boring. I actually don't like thinking. I think people think I like to think a lot, and I don't. I do not like to think at all." Wait, what? It seems like this wasn't a movie that critics liked very much, and we all know that critics have very good taste. But Antonio Margheriti doesn't feel so negatively about this movie. He said that Yor was a fun project made with almost zero budget. It was a party film, and I sometimes enjoy looking back at it again. Now that's the attitude to have. So what if all those things the critics said were true? Sometimes you just gotta have a goofy fun time, and that's what Yor is. Except for when it gets boring. But still, it doesn't matter what you're watching unless it's hurting others in any way. As long as you're having a good time, then that's all that matters. Now go pour yourself a drink, grab a snack, sit down, get comfy, and enjoy this goofy fun time. Yor starts off with a bop of a main theme playing over the hunky Yor going on a jog. I don't know why the rocks around him are so phallic looking, but it is what it is sometimes. It then cuts to a tribe of dudes and lady dudes doing some sort of ritual thing, I don't know, and then go off and do what they gotta do. We are introduced to Kala and her late dad's good friend Pag, and he old. The two are out hunting when they get attacked by a big old dinosaur. With Kala and Pag about to get wrecked, Yor jumps in and saves the day. Kala is immediately smitten with Yor and all its hotness. Praised as a hero, Yor is taken back to the tribe's village to celebrate. But not before introducing us to the mystery of Yor's past. He doesn't know where he's from. All he got is a shiny necklace. An old tribe guide tells Yor that he knows of someone else that has a similar necklace that lives in a desert. As they're partying and Kala does some dances to seduce the sexy Yor, a group of very hairy men come in and mess their stuff up. Yor, Kala, and Pag escape but end up getting surrounded by the hairy men. Kala gets kidnapped and Yor's necklace gets stolen. Pag just kinda watches all this happen. He eventually does decide to help out, but only after Kala is taken away. As the kidnapped ladies are scared and the hairy men be creepin', Yor swoops in to save the day yet again. But he only really cares about his necklace and Kala. He kinda just ditches the other kidnapped woman. Our trio leaves and decides to go find the desert lady in order to try to solve the mysteries of Yor's past. They travel across the land with the PP looking rocks all the way to the desert. Yor goes off on his own and ends up getting caught by the tribe of people that live in the desert. They take him to the desert lady that's got a necklace just like his. And we find out that Yor is a bit of a player, cause even though he's got something going on with Kala, he's smiling all over this new desert lady. Yor fights his way out once again and takes this desert lady with him, and we find out her name is Roa. Kala gets a little jelly, Pag tells her to chill, and with a new member joining their team, the gang decides to, she's dead now. But not before getting a little something something from Yor. After the funeral, the trio heads off once more. They find water, fight another dinosaur, and meet another tribe of people living on a beach. The ladies continue to want Yor, but what else is new? Yor actually turns this lady down though. Wow, he's really grown. I'm so proud of him. While everyone is chilling on the beach, Pag finds a talking box. The village is then suddenly attacked, and most of it gets destroyed with some casualties, but they were barely in the movie, so who cares? Pag shows Yor and Kala the talking box. And Yor is determined to find those responsible for the attack and make them pay. They build themselves a boat and head out onto the open sea. They are met with a storm and their boat gets destroyed, causing the gang to get split up. Yor washes ashore an island, and we meet the villain in the last 30 minutes of the movie. Oh, and things start getting a bit sci-fi from here on out. A bunch of robots attack and capture Yor while Kala and Pag wash up on the island now too. They meet a strange blonde man who helps them to safety from the evil robots. Yor wakes up on a table, and a woman who is watching him sleep explains to him his past. We essentially find out that there was an advanced civilization of people, and some blah blah crazy sci-fi apocalypse stuff happened that almost destroyed all of the advanced civilization, and made the rest of humanity revert back to the Stone Age or something like that. The villain, aka the Overlord, pops by to talk for a bit, but Yor gets bored partway through and bounces. Pag and Kala meet the woman that Yor met earlier and finds out that she and a bunch of others are part of this rebellion against the Overlord. Like Yor, Kala doesn't care about exposition and bounces as the rebels are explaining everything to her and Pag. Yor and Kala both wander about until they eventually run into each other.
Oh, Yor.
Some other stuff happens, I guess. You'd think the climax of a movie should be exciting and engaging, right? Well anyways, Yor, Kala, Pag, and the rebels fight off the robots while they're running around. Yor sets a bomb to destroy this place, and we find out that Pag is a bit of an acrobat. The Overlord rushes in to defuse the bomb himself, and Yor rushes after him to defeat him. Refusing to shoot the Overlord, Yor tries to manhandle him at first, but when that doesn't work, he just impales the Overlord with a giant candy cane. The gang books it while the Overlord still tries to get to the bomb before it blows everything up. They all get in a ship and blast off as the Overlord and his goons and this other old guy get all blown up. And with that, the movie ends. A little abruptly too, I might add. A narrator chimes in as everyone is flying off into the sunset.
Yor returns to the primitive tribes on the mainland. He is determined to use his superior knowledge to prevent them making the same mistakes as their forefathers. Will he succeed?
It kinda seems like they were planning to make a sequel and continue Yor's story, but they do not. This is the last we see of the Hot Yor. It kinda reminds me of another movie. For a movie that dragged some other things out, I did not expect the ending to do the opposite. I mean, who just ends a movie when there was at least a little more they could have done to resolve everything?